Dee Dee Davis. Happy to have you. Finally made it happen. Got you on the platform. For the people that might not be familiar with you, let the people know who you are.
Okie dokie. Well, my name's Dee Dee Davis. I played Baby Girl from the Bernie Mac show, born and raised in Chicago. I've done other things, but mainly, like, the main thing that I did was my role as Baby Girl. So,
And take me through that. Like, how did that come about? You getting the role in the Bernie Mac show, you playing his niece.
well, me and my mom put me and my sister into modeling, and we used to do competitions and things like that. My sister got scouted for an episode of the Power Rangers. And I remember being on set and I was like, oh, I want to act too. Apparently, I said this at the age of 3. I really don't remember. But my mom decided to put me into acting too. And I remember bits and pieces of the audition. Like, I remember I went there in like pajamas and little, was it bunny slippers and stuff? Because we were doing the nighttime scene. The 2 scenes we went over was the nighttime scene, and it was the scene when we were like, the bell didn't go ding ding when he needed some tissue. So I remember me and my mom went through that process. I remember like doing the lines and stuff like that. And the day off the audition, I remember I went into a room, went over the lines like I usually did with my mom, and it was a room full of like a bunch of men, and Bernie was the only black man in that room. He had on a nice suit, and I did it. I left, and when we were walking to the car, I remember that he came out and had a conversation with my mom, and I think it was just more on the like basis of like, oh, you from Chicago? Oh yeah, we from Chicago. I think we had like family members that went to the same church, and that's really what I remember from like that whole process. And then I remember like I got it and everyone was just going crazy. I remember my mom was like, "Yeah, got it," and I'm just like, "Yeah, what I get?" Like, I really didn't even understand the whole process of the show when it first started. Literally thought that these people were my family members because at 4 they're talking about, "Oh, this is your Uncle Bernie, this is your Aunt Wanda," and I'm like, "Okay, so my are these really my auntie and uncle?" But those are just some of the like early experiences I remember. But they were at least sweet enough to like let me call them Uncle Bernie and like Aunt Wanda offset too. Just because I think it would have kind of taken me out of character if they were like, no, you got to call me just Bernie or anything like that. But they were nice enough to let me actually call them Uncle Bernie and Aunt Wanda.
How often did y'all shoot? Was y'all shoot weekly, bi-weekly? How did that go?
It was like a Monday through Friday, off on the weekends. I kind of felt like the hours you would go to school was like the hours I would be working. So wake up in the morning, go to set Monday through Friday, have the weekends off. We would have like summer vacation per se. We would go on a hiatus, and yeah, it was just like a normal like school day. Well, that was like my school day, honestly. Wake up, go to set, get ready, do my lines. If I'm not in the scene, go upstairs to my dressing room or go to school for a couple hours, and it was regular 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 at 4 is crazy, by the way, but you know.
How was that like for you working with Bernie Mac? I heard you call him like a second dad to you. He taught you how to tie your shoes, ride a bike. How was that
Yeah.
like being on set with him?
I think that Bernie made a very warm atmosphere on set. Like it was very family oriented. Like he didn't necessarily teach me how to ride a bike, but they made an episode where I had to learn how to ride a bike. So guess I gotta learn. And also another episode when I learned how to tie my shoes. I actually had to learn to tie my shoes. But no, he was really like a father figure mainly because it taped in LA. So me, my sister, and my mother lived in LA, and my dad stayed in Chicago. So we would just go back and forth all the time. So I really didn't feel like I had that male presence always around just because my dad was in another city. And so he was that presence for me, like really was like an uncle or like, give me advice on certain things. Like there's only so much advice you can give a little kid, but just him teaching me how to like snap my fingers in between scenes is just like one big takeaway I have for him. Or just the energy he would bring to set and make the comfortability like people had with him, the way he made. I've worked on another set. Nothing competes to the way he made everyone feel on set. Other sets, like the atmosphere of it, it really felt like a family.
I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that they put you on a meal plan.
Not a meal plan. They didn't put me on a meal plan, but they was definitely like, all right now, you better calm down on that commissary. Um, Apparently, I was getting too chubby, and you know, I was a kid. Like my mom used to call it baby fat. Like, but it was an issue for the network. Like me going up in sizes, or we're about to start a new season and they pretty much have like all the type of clothes and sizes that I should be wearing, and then we're doing the fitting for the season and it's just like, you went up, oh you're this size, oh you're that size, oh. And um I remember my mom tried to handle it the best way she could, as far as like, all right, like you gotta hone in on that snacking, or this ain't just eat whatever you want. So my mom definitely tried to get me to eat healthier, but that was a issue. That was an issue that that really creates insecurities in a child, at that, to kind of like be told that you have to watch what you eat because the network's not happy with your weight, you know? In so many words, but yeah, kind of started some problems and some insecurities, but it's okay now. We've gotten through it. I go to the gym now, so
So that led to your insecurities, them complaining about your weight.
oh yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. I'm big on insecurities. Got a bunch of them. But my biggest insecurity has always been my weight. Um, I just felt uncomfortable. And mind you, like my sister was always a very thin shaped. So it was just like, dang. And I was always chubby, or I've always been like, no, I've always been like a chubbier kid, or things like that. So I think that was one thing. And then my mom trying to handle it and letting me know, like, you need to start watching what you eat. I think that was a thing as well. Like, I just had insecurities, or like people would make, look, kids are mean. They make fun of me. Like, I remember a kid was like, oh, I didn't know Dee Dee was pregnant in the front and the back. And I was like, sheesh. Mind you, we're 8. We're 8. I'm a sensitive child too. So a lot of that stuff I brought up with me. I kind of feel like growing up in LA, it's different. Like LA, I feel like people looked at me like I'm overweight, I'm obese, things like that. I come to Chicago, I learned that I'm not fat, I'm just thick. And I was like, that's crazy, you know? But it's not as bad as it was. Like looking back on it, I can make light of it just because like I know where I am now and I don't really hold that baggage anymore.
That's terrible, man, for them to bring that up to your parents.
Yeah, it's not like the network came to me and had a meeting like, "Hey, bro, you need to put down them snacks." It was just more of like, "Hey, let's reel it in." Is the way my mom presented to me. I honestly don't even know how it was presented to my mom. I just know how my mom was like, yeah, we're gonna have to like cut some of that out. But that is horrible for a 6-year-old kid have to be worrying about what they look like or their body weight and stuff like that is completely unnecessary. I think that also there's such a stigma when it came to acting. You have to look a certain way, like I never felt like I was the black girl that they wanted. It would be like other auditions and I would go out for other things and I just never felt like they wanted my type of little black girl. Like me and my sister would make it a point that we would not go out on auditions that would be like all ethnicity because they would never pick us. We would just get looked over and it would just end up being a waste of time, to the point like, and also you have to understand, like as a kid hearing those repetitive no's, it's hard. Or going for an audition and not getting a call back, or like going to another audition the next week and seeing that they're doing callbacks for the audition you went on last week, and you're just kind of like, dang, so they didn't like me, or like it makes you internalize a couple of things. But I just never felt like they liked me. They always picked, and I mean, no offense to the networks, but if you look back on it, like they always picked black girls that look mixed, or that have the natural, like really nice curly hair, the fair skin. I mean, I'm caramel, but you know, they was picking other people. They wasn't looking for me. I think once the Bernie Mac show was over, I was just tired. Like I get these no's. Mind you, the network I was working with didn't really like my weight, and it was just kind of like I wanted a break. I just kind of wanted a break from the whole acting life in general. Um yeah, like I said, all those repetitive no's just kind of gets under your skin and just kind of like, well, why didn't they like me? What could I've done differently, or things like that. Or there was some auditions that I didn't get, and I seen like the girl that they end up choosing. And I was just like, okay, well, then it becomes like I'm comparing myself to like what does she bring to the table? Maybe they didn't like the way I said this, or maybe they don't like the way I look. Maybe it just I think, and mind you, I'm like 10 at this point, so I shouldn't be thinking like that at 10 years old, or like, what's wrong with me? Why did they pick her over me? And like, then I also feel like that creates like jealousy and hatred towards other people because now I'm mad because you took my role and now I don't like you. So I just think that was too much for a kid, honestly, to be going through all that.